You can see the boxes over there. Excuse me. Clearly you'll know what I'm painting here. If this audio clip will give you a clue, we'll see. That's right, bounty hunters from Star Wars. I'm going to start with Bossk tonight. And there's a couple variations because they give you actually different arms for his build-up. You don't have to necessarily glue them in, because there is one that's just him holding his rifle itself. Or as you can see that right there. I just clipped it in so it holds. However, let me switch to some tunes. There is this one, which I do like the build for the arms. There's this one, which is just him holding his rifle right, like to the side. And in one hand, he's actually got a grenade. So we're going to go ahead and start that off and get some tunes going. Okay. Making sure there was no none of our usual how do I put it? Darn it, I can't think. Commercials at the beginning, so I'm going to move you guys like this here, so you won't catch too much of my heavy breathing or wheezing or anything. Unfortunately, still kind of got a little bit of a cough still from the whole COVID thing, unfortunately, but I think I'll be all right. Still taking my vitamin C every day, you know. Almost dropped the brush there. Alright, so let's go ahead and making sure my brushes are actually kind of loose, because after the terrain that I've done, I'm going to have to actually link everything on my Twitter, but yeah. Dip in each brush, make sure it's good, ready to be used. With Bossk, I'm gonna have to as well. It's gonna kind of suck just a little bit. I'm gonna have to actually do a custom for his skin. So what I'm thinking is a little bit of green skin, because you can even see it on the box there. I'll give you a quick look. Sorry for the lighting. He's not quite like dark green like this is, so I'm going to be using that, combining that with the demonic yellow. I'm kind of making it like a muted, almost yellow for that. So move you guys down a little bit. Sorry. Get you a better view of what I'm doing while I'm doing it. If anybody says anything in chat, don't mind me. It'll be a minute before I can answer. But we'll start off with just like the basics of him. I'm gonna be doing his suit first, like the main part there. Let that dry. Maybe do an arm or two tonight, and then I let it dry. Usually these are like 1 or 2 day like projects because of things like that. But alrighty. So here we are. Let me get a good brush. Nothing too crazy, too fancy. We're just doing a small bit, and you could see in his suit, like there's actually like folds and things like that, and even pipes, and he even has this little like harness going there, so I'm gonna have to like kind of go around that. If I hit it, that's fine. It's not going to kill it. Excuse me. Alright, so let's go ahead. We're going to start on your left cheek there, buddy. Yeah. Demonic yellow is actually a really good yellow for his jumpsuit. So I'm just going to kind of get in between. I use a really narrow brush just to kind of get in between, just kind of get in like the little areas. It's fine if gray still shows through, as always, because it's not doing it perfect on one coat. Generally with my painting, I usually try and do like 1 to 2 coats. Usually 2 coats. I try and knock it out with that, but we'll get around there. I think it'd be interesting just to do another one, just him in blue, but then that would just... I heard there was a... the latest, I want to say X-Wing game, I know it's something different, Squadrons. Latest Squadrons game, there's a rebel character who looks like him, but he's wearing a blue jumpsuit just like his. Or a flight suit, rather. So, it's an interesting idea. Maybe it would just be for that. I'm hoping by next year, hopefully Flying Frog puts out, I was going to say just bounty hunters. But, no, it would be interesting with the Star Wars license if they can actually get us some of the characters from The Mandalorian. So, just a thought I was thinking about today, because I have seen on Instagram, that's usually where I look at pictures for people who do like, you know, painting like this and whatnot, get ideas. A lot of times that's where I see people doing their own 3D models, but as always we want stats. Okay, we're just getting around this area. This is going to be even worse trying to come back and do the white straps on his flight suit. But that's okay. Like at this point it doesn't even feel like I'm painting so much as I'm barely touching the color and like dotting it on there. Just in the little cracks and crevices. So we'll put that there. That's good. And get this area here. Again, we're still just trying to get in between the joints and whatnot. Okay. Gonna get behind him. And it's just the yellow suit right under his vest. Always makes you wonder on that, like just his character in general. Like he's not wearing. I don't think he wears armor, honestly. Like I mean, I've seen some Trandashans like wear armor, like you know, back in like when I played Star Wars Galaxies and whatnot. But him, he doesn't. He's just tough. I think he's just tough in general. Doesn't really need it as much. So. I'm gonna get that. Get that. I'm honestly waiting for these parts to dry too, just to see if I can come back and like just kind of touch up. That's why today I'm actually keeping the fan on purpose. Okay. And there's a teeny tiny part. Right there. I think I got it. Okay. Again, this is the hardest part because it's going to be... Actually, the hardest part is going to be the straps when I have to actually paint those. But for now, there you go. You can see, man, his suit is coming along real nice. Sorry, I'm holding him upside down. And it's weird because I'm actually kind of going off the picture that I have over here of the him on the box art. So, kind of going off of that more than anything. So we'll brush a little bit. Get a little bit more paint. I'm gonna try and just get in this area here. Just because I see a little bit of gray showing through, which ain't terrible. It's not going to kill anyway. What's good about that, actually, and I did this with my Zombicide figures. Before I discovered actual model primer, I primed them all with like a black spray paint, like a cheapy dollar matte spray paint. And I'm going to be painting those eventually. But what I did is I used that, and then I used Tester's paint, which is so thick. You got to really thin that stuff out to work with for models like these. But the cool thing is when I'm doing like lighter colors with like white and things like that, that black showing through on purpose actually makes it look like dirty clothes or like the folds of the clothes. So especially on zombies that are like roaming down the street, and it's like, looks awesome. And I still need, I have some skeletons I need to actually shade. They're just general ones that I got for like D&D and things like that, because honestly, trade secret, I like to use a lot of undead characters as far as like enemies. They're easier to work with. They're just they're fun. They're fun, whether it be like vampires. And this is probably one of the best brushes I've ever used for something like this. I'm gonna eventually do Boba Fett. I do like that I have the it's him in his younger days, so it's him from like Return of the Jedi / Empire Strikes Back. But it's gonna be pretty cool because I am excited to actually, again, like spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Mandalorian yet. I would like to actually see that version of him in a miniature form for this game. I know that's gonna kind of, you could see right there, it was tough to get, but like it did pretty good, and I could still see the strap where it's gonna go. So it's hard to say because I'm like, that looked like a pouch at first, but it's not. So he is coming along pretty darn good. I'm actually going to take what yellow I got now. I'm going to let him dry, so I'm going to prop him up against this thing. And even the parts I'm not going to use, the him holding the rifle, I think I'm going to actually let me do the arms first on the cloth. I think I want to still paint the parts that I'm not going to use, or if I just don't glue him in, maybe I can interchange the parts. So like if I want him holding the rifle, that'd be cool, or not. You know, I don't know. We'll see. Love that I got copyright-free music for this, so it's awesome to just listen to some synthwave and paint some miniatures on a Saturday night. That is my idea of heaven. And for his grenade, what I'll probably do is do like red or something like green, because they're actually, it's cool that they incorporated the same way that he fights from Battlefront 2, or Battlefront, I think he was in the first one too. It's him using like a gas grenade, basically. So he's actually uses that, and actually his rifle just reaches out and touches somebody, man. It hits hard from a far distance, so. Go ahead. Do this. Actually, his suit, even though seeing the shoulder folded, it's still yellow, so. I'm just hoping, I'm always like, oh, I hope I get the accurate colors on the costumes. I know some people do their own custom ones. I even wanted, for my stormtroopers, I originally wanted to do those like a kind of like an olive drab stormtrooper. I did that with the scout troopers. They look like they're kind of camouflaged, and their bikes are too. But I might actually switch it up. I might actually add a layer on to the other guys. We'll see. That's my unfortunate not curse. I don't want to say curse because it's not really a curse. It's my I know this is used. This is probably overused. I mean, some people use it in the sense of like, oh, I got it, but it's not really it. My type of, I don't even want to say OCD. I want to say obsession. Is to get the model right, like so, like get them perfect or get them like looking great. Because I always, I do what many people do. We all, and we shouldn't do this, but we sometimes find ourselves comparing ourselves like by other people's work. So like and again, this is me looking on Instagram. I've looked at other people's work and like models, and I'm just like, man, how come mine don't come out like that? But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm really proud of what I make. So it's a very weird double-edged sword, and sometimes I think we as people just need to like not do that. Like, you can just be proud of what you made. Doesn't matter what you made. You know, I mean, you can make music, you can make art. I consider this art in a way, you know, it's just my thing. So, sorry, I'm rambling on, but yeah. You kind of get where I'm coming from. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start on his skin. Well, I still have some. Actually, let me pull his other arm real quick. And what I forgot, like I was saying, I will still paint his other arm one more time, because that's still yellow on the fold on the shoulder. Alright. So that's gonna dry. I'm going to let me cap that for a minute and I'll wipe off my I just want to hit up his other set of arm, which is him holding the rifle by itself, before I mix up his skin tone. So you can see we're starting to do those. Sorry, I'm pulling it up toward my face again. Can't wait until I can actually afford a decent laptop so you guys can see everything that I'm doing. There we go. You can barely see it. But once I come back with black to do the rings and the rifle, like that'll look pretty cool. So with what little yellow we have left, let's experiment for a minute. So we're going to add some green. And let me actually go, my apologies, clean my brush. And let me go get my mixing brush, because I actually have a cheapy bristle brush that I use for that, instead of putting my regular brushes to it. Okay, apologies about that. So that's what I use. This is just a cheap, like from 100 pack of Walmart brushes, and I got them on a whim one time, and then I was like, well, these aren't really good for miniatures, but what am I going to do with them? And part of me was like, well, you can use them to mix your paint. So you can see there that this thing, because it's got stiff bristles, so it's fine. Let me actually add just a little bit more yellow, because I think it's looking a little too green still for my taste. Add just a little bit more yellow. Wash that off real quick. Let's mix this in, we'll see. Because it's really, yeah, there we go. I was really looking for that pale green. Like a pale, almost lime, but not quite. Because Bossk has like that kind of tone to his skin. So, those itches a little. Let me grab a sip of tea. Alright. So now, we shall do, welcome viewer, his head first. We might even be doing multiple of this. As far as like multiple shades, I should probably go grab my helping hands to actually hold this. But, whatever, it'll be fine. Luckily, it's just a small little area that we're doing. And again, I don't know if it's me, if I'm weird, but I like to paint my miniatures while they're disassembled, and then make sure later on, like they look like I get every angle before I even start to put them together. But you can do it however you like. Okay. So we're kind of getting everything, that's fine. We'll come back and we'll detail more. But I am liking this shade. And it'll probably look way better once we put some of the dark shader on it, just to give them more. So, let's take a look. Excuse me. He might still be looking a little too green. He might have even needed like a little bit more dark in there. But I think he looks pretty darn good. At least for now, and then later on we'll do red for the eyes. Red and maybe one black dot in the middle. It's going to be tough. Eyes are always the bane of my existence when it comes to these kind of things. So, okay, so now we're doing... Oh man, this one's got a sprue. Oh, no, it's not a sprue, sorry. That's just the handle. Whew, almost snapped that off. I got a sprue on it, but go ahead and go with the grain on his scales. It's looking very neon-y. Maybe I need to add some brown, but nah, it'll be alright. So we'll keep going. And at this point, I'm just kind of going around the arm. I can actually take that off. Forgot that. I can take that off and I can get in between there. Luckily, that detaches. A little bit more water. Because unfortunately, making smaller batches like this, I gotta work a little faster with the miniatures themselves. That's the downside, like I was talking about yesterday on the terrain one. Is making smaller batches of like custom skin colors and things like that is kind of sucks. There you go. Because of things like that, where it's like, hey, you need to kind of... It's got the fan on, so you gotta kind of hurry up. Otherwise, the fan will dry out my little pot of paint that I made for this custom skin for this character. And that was a lot of paint on that arm that didn't really need, so I'm kind of trying to spread it out. That's right if we're hitting the gun. Hit a finger right there. Trying to make sure. And as you can see, like globs like that, it's easy just to even it out, even if you want to take it off there. Just even it out. Make sure it's a thinner coat. Bam. And those alternate arms are done. Let's go with the regular arms that we're going to do. Because I like that pose of him holding the grenade and his rifle. think it's pretty neat. Again, I think these characters are like some of the most fascinating ones. Again, that's why I love The Mandalorian so much as a TV show. It's all these people who you're seeing what they're doing around the galaxy. They're not just Jedi. Don't get me wrong, Jedi are cool and everything, but like, I'm always one to see like a B character, C even tier character in the background. Like, what are they up to? What's your life like? What do you do? And especially when I was a kid, man, seeing Bossk, like, oh, that guy's a dinosaur. Or a lizard man, that's pretty cool. Okay, we got all the little parts in the arm. So there we go. We'll come back and color the grenade. And I am proud that let's come to this part and we'll do feet. I am proud how the skin tone came out. Because even if this is looking a little neon, I can come back and make another one. Or even with a dark tone, it's going to tone it down. It's going to make it look more like his tone. Again, I'm going off the cover art on the box, but this is looking a little too lime green, but that's okay. I'm sure Bossk had different shades as he lived on in the Star Wars universe. At least now, I know I can do an atomic green like this. So I have a couple Warhammer 40k characters with plasma guns. I can probably go back and add some of this stuff here. So we'll get this. We're getting this foot here. Welcome, viewer. And we're putting this here. We're getting around the foot. I think we got really let me get the last of this. Like, it's almost like every angle where I'm like, yeah, I got that. And then, no, come back, there's a little gray there staring at you. That's okay. So we did that. Again, sorry, holding them upside down, but you can see. Looking pretty good, huh? Okay. So we did that, Get that off of there. Okay, so next one, let's go ahead and do black. Black is fun. Ordinary matte black, one of your better ones. It works for so many things, handles, weapons. I even used it for, what's that other one that I did? I'm going to experiment real quick. Hold on one moment. Just for the heck of it, I just want to see. I'm going to add a tiny bit of a brownish gray. Oh, that was too much. I just wanted to see what that'll do to that green. Let me pull a little to the side and mix that. Let's see if I can get it less. Yeah, actually. So if you're seeing this, yeah, I mean, that's kind of his skin tone on there. It's like a greenish. I'm actually probably going to do one little coat over the areas that I did. Plus I got an arm that still needs doing anyway. I shouldn't have poured that black, but that's okay. So let me get this area, this part. And I might actually just try and hit his other parts too that I just did. So those should be dry by now for those areas. And that might look even better over the other green skin too. But this arm's going to look greenish brownish. I can't believe I forgot this arm too. So you'll see that there. See, now we got something resembling, or it's still green, but it's got a brown tone to it. It's not as avocado bright green as this. So I'm gonna give it just a little shade over that. I'm gonna mix that up. I should actually be using my other brush, but so I'm gonna dip that, clean that, and then mix it up with that one. Okay, so we'll give it a quick mix. So now we have that almost brownish tone, almost a greenish brownish tone, and you could see there. See, comparing this atomic green to this brownish green, which is, it looks way better to me. I have to change my paper out too. My blue towels that I got here, because some of the beach sand that I use got out, so notice I'm putting things down, or I'm like setting something down, and I'll go to pick up a brush and it'll have like a couple rocks in the bristles, and I'm just like, what the hell? So we'll do a light coat on that, especially on the arms we're using too, because it'll be okay, as you can see there. Or you still see some of the darker green come out. Sorry, my lighting is terrible. But man, it's going to look cool once it dries. And again, once we put a dark tone on it, he'll look pretty Bossk, or Boss. Sorry, that's a terrible joke. Alright, so we'll go ahead and do the arms that I'm probably not going to use, which is fine again. But I like to have them uniform just in case I get a wild hair later on playing this game and be like, oh, I'm going to switch him out so he's holding just the rifle. Because if I know myself, which I try to know, he's a cool guy, I tend to do that. I'll be like, that's dumb, and then I'll like go back and do it. Okay, and get that thumb. Okay, and you can see there, Now we got ourselves a much less, not so atomic green. It's not Godzilla, but he's almost as powerful as Godzilla. That's right, I said it. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. That's what. Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm always pulling it up to my face just so I could see all the details and nooks and crannies. I should actually probably bust out the helping hands eventually. I'll do that for Boba Fett for sure. Because, man, Bossk, I know he's got, like, his little crevices and whatnot, but, man, it's going to be tough when I get to him, when I get to Boba Fett. Not that I mind at all, but, like, it's just... I just want him to be accurate, that's all. Especially if I'm painting him on stream. Okay, so now we're doing the head. Again, just a light coat. Just to make sure you're not looking atomic green. Which, don't get me wrong, atomic green looks good on you. Get a little bit more on there. We'll just go over everything. That's fine if we hit the eyes. We'll come back and we'll fix those. Because again, those are going to be red. And they're going to be a red with a black. I'm not trying to do a dot. I want to even try and do... I know his look a little sideways. But I'd like to go up and down looking. Vertical, I think that is. It might be. Yeah, that's vertical. Like a black, kind of like a reptile's eye. So like that black mark, like, you know, that's where it like almost looks like a diamond going down it. It's hard to describe. But hopefully I can achieve that. That'd make him look even more intimidating on the battlefield. Not that, you know, 8-foot tall lizard isn't already intimidating, but there we go. What do we think? He's gonna look pretty badass when he's on the... Alright, so we're gonna wet this because I need to stretch this out just a little bit more to do his legs again, because I almost forgot about the legs. And at this point, I'm just adding a wash over his already green skin, which isn't a terrible thing. Because that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to have the green show through, but still show that he's got deep brown legs. So keep going on those. All right. A little bit more water. We're just washing out what we got. Just need to do your other leg, buddy. Make you look good while you're doing your thing. And that is that. Again, sorry, holding them upside down. But you can see he looks more like the picture, which is cool. That's what we're definitely going for. Okay. So we'll kind of give those a minute to dry. I'm even, for the sake of argument, going to put on the bottom. I always do that just in case, just to make sure that... I know that's the part you glue, but still, I just like for it to be uniform. Just if in case anybody sees anything. Looks good. So luckily I got all the skin done while he was still... Like I used it in one batch, because otherwise if I didn't, then it would have been one of those things that I worry for not getting all of the skin tone done in one run, and then I come back and I go to do it again, or I go to make another batch of it, and it looks weird. Yeah, dude, I did pretty darn good. It's almost like I'm starting to know what I'm doing. Okay, so let's pour out just a little bit more matte black. I know my other one probably dried up, but that's okay. Again, not much of it because there's not much black on there to paint. On his flight suit, on the ends, you got shoulder straps on the ends of each one. And then from there, actually, he's got a lot of white on him, surprisingly. I think somebody that, at least from the books I've read and things like that, somebody that aggro wouldn't wear white. But hey, here we are. Okay, so we're getting the butt of this gun. Again, I'm being super careful not to touch his other part, because this is where you need to kind of be a little bit more careful. Just kind of get that. I'm going to get that part there too, because that's actually the flight on his flight suit, his cuffs that like actually just go a little bit past his arm. Is where that cuts off, so just being super careful. Not to hit his hand, not to hit anything like that. Nothing but rifle. Yeah. So we got that. Cool. Let me hit this area where the other handle goes. Can't remember if I read it or I heard it, but like it's weird how so many of the blasters from Star Wars, just as props, were just World War II guns that like they repurposed and like made them look different so that they look like blasters. So I'm sure there's people when this came out and they're like, that's actually a this. You know, sorry, I don't know what blaster model this one was offhand, but hey, just a neat little fun fact. And again with this one, I'm not super worried if any gray shows through, because again, it could just look like wear and tear on the weapon. Okay, let me get right there and on the handle. There we go. And let me get this part here. Let's wash off this. I'm going real slow around there. To get the ring around his flight suit. Kind of see that there. Sorry, my lighting's not that great right now. I might do kind of a, not a gray, but I want to do like a silver on the grenade maybe. And like maybe I might mix up some of that atomic stuff because it is a poison grenade after all. And actually use that on the little, like, because you can see, like it's almost like you could see what's in the grenade. Like I know it's such a tiny picture, but it looks like it's one of those things where it's like you can. I remember it from the game Battlefront 2 as well. Like it looked like you can see what was like, you know, the gas that's in there that's about to come out like once he tosses it. So now we're doing the ring here on this part of his flight suit, just in case. Again, like I say, just in case I want to use this arm. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Who knows? So let's do that. With that, clean that, and redip. Because it was coming on a little rough. I think I hit his thumb, but that's okay. Ugh, I hate when I do that to my bristles. When I foil my bristles, it's like, oh. It really makes me cringe. Okay. So we got that part of the rifle, good. Now I gotta do the other side. Okay. Around the handle. Good. Now the scope. And I even got the handle there. What do you think? Pretty darn good. I'm just setting these aside there to kind of dry. Hopefully, because then they touch the blue thing, the blue paper here. They could stick to it, potentially. Unfortunately, it'll rip up some of that and have it permanently glued to the model, which sucks. I had that happen with some terrain earlier. I had to kind of gently peel it off and kind of make sure and redo that area just to make sure it looks okay. So we'll do that. And that's the tip of the gun with the handle. So we got all that. And now let's do the little ring on this suit. Or this part of the suit, I should say. I'll readjust. There we go. Come on, guys. I need you nice and straight. So almost like a pin. Like we're almost like writing on this. Okay. And there we go. Perfect. Got all the arms done. What else is black on you? The rings. I'll point at them right here. You can barely see them. But these shoulder rings before we put the arms on, those are black. So those are going to be the part that right now we're doing. Move closer to you. My apologies. I've actually come to now accept and like that I can lean forward, not just pull it to me and then be like, you guys don't know what's going on while I'm painting. But I think from now on, as far as like when I do things like this, where like I gotta kind of angle them on things, I might actually even, again, like I said, pull out the helping hands. Helping hands is a tool with just two little like clips. like clamps that can hold things. While I even it magnifies it for me too. I can put it on the thing and it'll actually show me closer up what it looks like without me having to pull it up to my face. Sorry. So concentrating on that, I didn't get to finish my thought at the moment. There's left shoulder, and we'll do right shoulder, and then, sorry, I will do the brown part around his, like the seal around his neck, that little beaded part you can see. Kind of a reddish brown it's looking like, so I might actually even have to mix a custom for that, which would be okay. I don't know if I'm going to get them done tonight all the way, but that'll be alright. I might just stop after this. Only because I also need to do the white and the brown and like other things on there, so it's like, going to be a little weird to like do these parts and then like wait for it to dry and then try and like, you know, keep going on it. Plus this brush is being worn down. I might have to snip the ends just to get rid of the split ends on there. I should buy more precision brushes. Actually, I think I got plenty. I just don't... Like, I get used to one and I'll just, like, wear the hell out of it before I move on to another precision brush. But, man, this works good. Okay, so both of those are done. And now... going to use... excuse me. I'll do leather brown with a little bit of... Gosh, I think in just like a tiny, tiny bit of red. Like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Just because, like, on the box you can see it's reddish brown almost. Like, it actually probably is more red than brown, but like it looks like a messed up version of that is the best way to put it. Not to be mean, but I could even use that brown too for if I don't use all the brown, because what I'll do is I'll do reddish, and then I'll get a tiny bit of brown, put it on there, and then we'll do that. And I can use the rest of the brown for his straps down by his legs. And that should be good. So I almost use this for mixing. That's not good. Sorry. Get the old mixing brush. We'll get a dab of that brown. Again, whoops. To wet those bristles because they're starting to clump up. Not like I don't have 100 more of these brushes, but... Come on. Give me that. Reddish brown. Again, if this doesn't totally work, that's fine. I'll make another. I'll just use regular brown for the straps. But I'm kind of moving them both there. We're starting to get that brown. Let's see what we got. Yeah, that's about right. It's about what that picture is. It sucks going off that picture just because that picture doesn't show much light. Okay. And it looks like he has a little bit more black in between there, but I don't think I can get that, honestly, because that's really, really... And it'll be alright. If I miss, I might get a little bit more something else, but Okay, there is like a line right there. I'm gonna dip. I'm actually gonna wash this off and go black on that part. Cause let me get, alright, I'm gonna go a little bit more of that blood brown. It's a terrible name for that color, but it's kind of what it looks like. And it's like that crevice just behind the white vest. Like you can barely see it, but like there's a little gap there, and I want to hit that with black. Because now, again, looking at the character and looking back at that, it looks like, who knows, like that's a strap under there, but I just don't want to leave that gray. Oh man, that's hard to get on that side. Let me get the back first. And you could see it right there. I did it. Gonna be ever so slightly to get it on the front too. Oh man. I did it. I did the thing. See, so it looks like it's a strap that's like under behind it. Maybe that's his armor. I don't know. It's cool. Either way, I am proud of myself. So, we did that. Let's see. Brown. Brown. I'm using just a little bit of brown. I know, I already had brown down, but I'm going to use that for his, I'm just doing the straps on his feet. So it's like between the little ammo things. Don't know if those are grenades or not. I wish I knew more about, like, I was heavily into the Star Wars universe when I was younger. And, like, nowadays, I couldn't tell you exactly what everything that character carried. I used to be like that. I used to be really into it that great. But, like, yeah. For all I know, that's... Who knows? That could just be snacks. I know, a bunch of Star Wars nerds are like, it's not snacks. Okay. So we're going to go as close as we can to those straps. Being really careful about getting the ones around his feet because I'd have to make another batch of the leg color again. I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm going more toward the yellow, because if the yellow gets hit, I'm like, oh well, I can make more yellow. Yellow's just off the shelf yellow. Off the shelf demonic yellow. I might knock this guy out in one night. I wasn't expecting to, because I was like, he needs to dry, he needs to do this, do that. Hemming and hawing about it, as I usually do. Okay. Got a tough angle right there, sir. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I did the thing. Oh. I think I'll have it done, but the only thing I think I won't assemble it yet, like, because like some parts will still be wet. Even touching the top there, I'm kind of like, As you can see, again, holding them upside down. Okay, so that's looking good. So we're all done with those. I think at this point, white's just one of the last little things to get I'm seeing a tiny bit. Again, I'm looking at the tiny bit of black around the straps there for his little airlock dingies on his suit. So I'm gonna dot those black before that dries up. And then I think the rest of it will be white, which will be not easy. I don't want to say easy, but I just want to say that it'll be like a lot easier than other parts have been on this particular model. But I've had fun. I've had a lot of fun painting Bossk, assuming my own little facts about him. Cool lizard character. So we'll go ahead and do. I was thinking Brain Matter beige, but that's like kind of like that's off-white. I'm gonna do. Oop, almost dropped a strong tone. Let me put these guys away before I grab any more things out. So what we'll do. Matte white will be the one that I'll use. And that's just a bright white. And then after that, I'll do detailing later on, and I'm probably not going to show it, but I'll show them on Instagram. Just doing the, I almost said black, but I wanted to actually, you know what? No, I'm going to use regular red for his eyes when I do those, so I'm going to actually need a way tinier brush. But I'll do that later. I'll do that like all off cam, because I know that's one thing. Like, eyes are just... they kill me. No easy way to say it. Eyes kill me, but... because I was almost like, well, his eyes are almost like a brownish red again, and I'm like, no, we're just going to do dark red for that. And again, that'll look super cool once it's actually like shaded and put in, and like doing that with the lizard looking red on it, like the snake eye look that I want to do on it. So with the white here, matte white, sorry, this is going to be a little bit like my when I first started the suit, when it was yellow, doing the yellow part of the suit. It's mostly going to be me like kind of like thinning it a little, and then slowly just going over these little straps, because all these little straps that are gray now are going to turn white, including the vest on his suit. So keeping our brush really wet this time. And we're just nice and slowly going over it with this. We're being very careful. Okay. Okay. So let's wet it again. A nice little dot. We're just putting that on. We're not going over the black, we're just going over gray. And I'm kind of singing this song, so we don't have to keep painting all day long. I hate that I keep glancing up at the picture. I'm like, wait, did I miss something? I'm like, nope, didn't miss anything. It's looking good. Oh, man. Okay, that section I'm going to leave like that. Oh, so close. Okay. So that hose that I'm seeing come around is actually looking like it was black too, so I might have to rebust out the matte black, which I'm kind of kicking myself for right now, because I really didn't want to do that. But like I said, you know, there's times where I'm like painting miniatures, and I'm like, that's cool, and then there's other times where I'm like, I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna do details later on, as you've heard myself earlier. I don't mind doing that, especially because I have to do a little bit more yellow on the suit, because there is some gray showing through, but I don't mind offering a little bit of detail on there. So nervous. Hands get a little shaky, but that's okay. Bam. Just got to get that right side of that suit, and that's... Oh, man. That is actually pretty darn good. I am most impressed with myself. Not to toot my own horn or anything, but that's pretty darn good, Jeremy. Oh, well, thank you. You did a good job as well. Yeah, well, I try. And we're just gently dipping, kind of going over this. It's almost like we're dragging paint just to the areas where we need to. Like, again, like I said, it's almost like we're drawing, tracing. Just gotta do the little stripe down your front. Sorry there, Bosky. This doesn't mean like we're married or anything, buddy. I think the hose I might do black. I might even pull out like leather brown for the little hose connections, just to give it a little bit more identity. Okay. Whew, I am like so nervous with these straps because I'm just like, man. And my music track is being weird, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and leave that white on that wire that comes around. Okay. Get this strap. We're almost done with that strap. Okay. There's the little part there on that strap. Okay, let me come around and do this area. And that'll be built. We'll be all done. There we go. there. Oh man. Oof, the second track on this playlist is not working with me. Okay. That goes to that. And the thigh straps, and I think we're all done with the white once we do these. It's just tough when a character has their knee bent like that. And you're trying to get all the little areas, nooks and crannies, whatnot. Especially when they got weird white thigh straps like that. Let's go, buddy. Yeah, definitely coming back tomorrow night and gonna be doing, not on stream, but I'll be definitely doing his detail just to get him done. And you could see some parts where there's still some of the gray showing through the yellow, because yellow's a weird color with like going over a primed area. As far as just like, you know, seeing all that, but yeah, man, these white straps are going nuts. Let's go over here. And I'll have to get in between there too, because there's another area where I'll get some more yellow. But I think we're done. We got all the white straps on his flight suit, his legs, around his groin area. Just making sure the last little bit, make sure they're okay. Let me get that one a little bit more. And that ought to do it. At least for now. Now he's looking okay. Welcome, viewer. Sorry, the lighting's not the greatest, but there we go. And we'll let him dry. I'll show you that. Okay. And I think I can go ahead and do the eyes now. Here, I'll sit up and readjust. Huh. Alright, so actually, you know what I need to do? I need to do your claws, buddy. And I thought your straps sucked. These are going to suck even more. That's alright, because I like you. You're a cool bounty hunter. Look, you can see his toes. Let me do a little bit more on this side. There we go. Yeah, it looks a little bit more defined. I'm going to go ahead and do a couple just on this part. The hand that holds the grenade, because that is the one I'm going to be using. I'm actually probably going to do the other part of it, kind of a silver, like I'm going to probably use a metallic on the grenade part, and there's, again, like I said, there's a couple bauble parts on there, where you can see what's in there, so I might actually do, not so much atomic green, I might even do a red, like it looks like a red gas. That would look kind of cool. I'm going to make sure this hand definitely has its claws. I'm going to check something real quick before I actually pull the trigger on it. No pun intended while I'm doing his claws for his rifle. But, I wanted to see what glistening blood looks like, because that would be cool if, like, I can get, like, a red, like, a wet, effective look. It's been a while since I used this one. Bear with me. I kind of want to... Like, if I can get it... If I can get it, if his eyes look bloodshot, like, or if they look like blood red, that'd be cool. Because if they stay like a reddish look, that'll make his eyes look like they're wet. So I like that idea. Okay, so... Clean out all that white. So... You know, like there's a few, I like that there's a few different shades on his actual thing. I'm going to go ahead and use, I'm going to try it out. If it doesn't look good, oh well, whatever. But, and this is just crazy because this is just, I already poured way too much. Because we were just barely touching those eyes, man. That's super cool. I actually like that glistening blood red look. I'm going to dab a little bit more on there. I probably shouldn't, but that's okay. Because it's just darkening that up. That looks cool. And I might not even put pupils. That'd be even better if there was no pupils. Like he just looks like he's, you know, almost that Ninja Turtle look where their eyes glow, like when they're serious. So let's do that. We'll clean that up. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna do that where it's like, you know, we'll make the gas red. Let me put a little bit of silver on this, on his grenade before we paint the rest of it. I'm so excited that I actually finished a character on stream. I know I've done that before with some of them, but man, like others I've just been like, this is going to be a minute, I'll be back, etc., etc. So we're going to just do the metallic parts there. And man, it's tough for like it being... Like, it's just a tiny object in his hand. You could see right there. And again, clean the brush real fast. So I'm going to go ahead, put 1, 2, 3 little dots there. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4. There's 2 there because he's covering up the other one, but like, look, you can see that that'll be the gas. Sorry, Like that'll be like a red poison gas in his grenade. So I'm going to wait for this to dry before I assemble it. And I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I hope everyone has a great time. You're staying safe, especially with this COVID going around. I'm just getting over it. Well, I've been fighting it for a while. But anyway, thank you so much. I will put more pictures up, and I'll even show you before I start on Boba Fett. You guys have a great night. Stay safe, and much love, people. Good night.